Good morning, KU. I'm Avalon.
And I'm Megan.
And today is, what day? Tuesday?
It's Tuesday. Today is Giving Tuesday.
Giving Tuesday.
So in contrast to Black Friday and to Cyber Monday that happened this week, the UN actually made something last year to have a holiday towards giving. So today, instead of giving yourselves gifts, or you give to charity. So.
Yeah, I definitely gave to myself a little bit on Friday. I went Black Friday shopping, it's true. But you really don't have to wake up that early.
Really?
No, we got to the mall around 1, and most stores were 50% off. So those people that wake up at 6 a.m. or even 3 a.m.,
yeah.
I don't even know why. It's crazy.
I've definitely done that before. It's not really worth it.
I've done it once before, I think, and I'm tired by 9, and I just want to go home.
I'd rather camp for basketball tickets than go to Old Navy at 3 a.m., fight old ladies trying to...
Exactly. How was that, camping for basketball tickets? Is it fun?
Yeah, it's been great. We're not actually camping this week,
okay.
but we camped in last week.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, what else is in the news today?
Also in the news, there's some interesting news about cursive.
Huh, cursive. Wow, so they are banning it, they're going to stop teaching it all over the United States, right? But then
yes,
in
but
Kansas,
in Kansas they want to continue teaching it.
I first learned to write cursive when I was in 1st grade, I remember.
I think I started writing in 3rd grade, and it's funny because all of our teachers would say, oh, you're going to use it in middle school, you're going to use it in high school. I never used it in middle school
only
or high
for my
school.
signature.
Yeah, for my signature.
I remember it being really hard. I was like, I cannot do this. It's really difficult.
It's difficult.
Especially when you're a 1st grader learning it, like putting words together just seems weird. And the N's are like, the N's and M's were what always confused me.
Those always got me.
I know, because it's like the N is 2 humps, right? And the M is 3. Well, now I know at least.
Yeah. So. Anyway, well, that wraps up our section. All
right.
We're going to go to...
yeah, you're interviewing Tyler from the Student Senate, and we'll be right back with them.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
We're back, and I'm here with Tyler Childress, the Chief of Staff of Student Senate. So
yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming today. So could you describe a little bit about what's been going on lately?
So as a lot of you probably know, we've been working on a lot of election reform efforts. Kind of started out with wanting to get rid of coalitions, and that did not go through, but we've been working ever since to kind of limit how elections are actually run. And we were able to pass a $1,000 spending cap on all coalitions, which was pretty impressive. We weren't sure we were going to get 2,000, so we got 1,000. Really excited about that. And one thing we want to do, since we are keeping coalitions, is to limit kind of how they operate. Right now, in the past, they've kind of operated, just year-round. And we've limited that they now have to caucus, and they can only begin that caucusing process about 6 weeks before the week of the elections. So we've severely limited how long people are going to actually be campaigning, and we've made it a much more democratic process. So the coalition members are now going to be electing who they want their president and vice presidential candidates to be. Kind of right now, it's the old people like me that kind of decide who would take over after us, and we want to get away from that system.
Okay, and so can you describe a little bit about what's going to happen in the spring?
So in the spring, normally we see a lot of, people usually have already started by now. They've already announced, they're going to be running, who's actually going to be running on the ticket. They can't do that this year. So about the 3rd week of February, you're going to see people filing with the Elections Commission saying that they actually, want to be a part of a coalition. And then about the last week of February, first week of March, somewhere around in there, people will start caucusing. And this first formation caucus is where the rules for the coalition are going to be determined. It's also going to be where the names are determined, so you can't just come in the spring semester knowing what your name is going to be. That's going to hopefully cut down on having a coalition exist from year to year and have a lot of power. After that caucus has been completed, you're going to have a separate caucus sometime within those 6 weeks before the week of the election to determine your president and vice presidential candidates and then your senator candidates. And then we're going to keep the election the second week of April on that Wednesday and Thursday, but now active campaigning where people from Student Senate actually come up and hassle you to get you to vote. It's now just going to be Wednesday and Thursday instead of the entire week. So we hope we're making the system a little bit more tolerable for students and kind of encourage student senators to actually be going out and meeting the people rather than just throwing a lot of t-shirts and water bottles at people.
So how else do you think this will be a positive change for student voters?
I think it'll be a positive change for student voters just because when you have a system and the election's going on for 2, 3, 4 months, you kind of get weary with what's going on. And a lot of times the platforms don't emerge until towards the end of the campaign. So I think sometimes platforms get lost in all of the noise. And then I think another problem we've run into is because it exists for such a long period during the spring semester, Student Senate kind of stops running. And I think students kind of see that as a negative and they kind of get turned off from the process. So we're trying to just encourage more people to get out and vote and kind of take an interest in actually either joining Student Senate or if not, at least voting and having their voice heard.
Okay, and when are elections?
The elections are going to be that second week of April. I'm not exactly sure on the dates, but you'll be hearing more from the Elections Commission because in the reform, we've made it to where they're going to play a much larger role in making sure that students know when and where to vote and different ways that they can get involved.
Okay, thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And now we'll go to Stephanie with the news.
If I had a superpower, what would it be? It would be magic. Yeah, watch. Is that your card? Is that your card?
The ability to make lots and lots of money.
I could bend silverware with my mind. Is that your card? No. Is that your card?
Or you could just give blood.
I'm Stephanie Bickle, and here's your Good Morning KU News update. The man who died in the parking lot at Arrowhead Stadium on Sunday has been identified as 30-year-old Kyle A. Van Winkle of Smithville, Missouri. Medical authorities still have not determined the cause of death. Police have released 3 of 4 persons of interest in the case, and no charges have yet been filed. A former medical technician has been sentenced to 39 years in federal prison after infecting dozens of patients with Crohn's disease and hepatitis C. 34-year-old David M. Kwiatkowski stole fentanyl from hospitals when he was working. After taking the narcotic pain reliever himself, he would refill the syringes with saline, indirectly tainted with his hepatitis C infected blood. Kwiatkowski worked in several states, including Kansas. Now to sports. The women's basketball team finished 1-2 over the Thanksgiving holiday break. And Jayhawks defeated Central Michigan 68-63. Senior Markeisha Hawkins led the Jayhawks with a career-high 16 points. In the second round of the Virgin Islands tournament, KU lost a close game to Xavier following 64-59. On the final day of the tournament, number 2 ranked Duke defeated KU 73-40. Now 4-3 for the season, the Jayhawks will take on Arkansas tomorrow night at 7 p.m. in Allen Fieldhouse. The 21st ranked volleyball team will host first and second round games of the NCAA tournament this weekend in Allen Fieldhouse. KU will play Wichita State in the first round and then hope to meet the winner of Creighton and Arkansas match. Wichita State defeated the Jayhawks in the NCAA tournament last year. Well, that wraps it up for today's news update. Our show's a little short today, so we're going to show you one of the projects from the beginning broadcast class. Our own Larry Kendricks produced a humorous PSA to cover a common addiction. Enjoy this parody and have a great day.
I think that the hardest part for me was realizing that I wouldn't be able to stop this addiction. I first realized I was addicted to twerking last summer when I couldn't eat or sleep. All I could do was twerk and twerk and twerk.
The American Addiction Twerking Center is located in major cities all over America.
People look at artists like Miley Cyrus and Rihanna and think that twerking is all fun and games, but it's not. It's a disease.
If you or anyone else that you know is struggling with twerking, please call 1-888-333-TWRK.